Good morning. This is Debra V. Wilson. It is the 14th of April 2017, Friday. The time is approximately 800 hours and 44 minutes. And my time zone is GMT +2. I'm in Haifa, Israel. I say that with a bit of a question mark, as I have family and friends in the U.S., so I'm keeping track of that time zone. I have friends and activists I know in Canada, which has a similar time zone as the U.S., and then I have friends and activists that I am in contact with in the United Kingdom, and so that's another time zone. So I say with a bit of uncertainty, relatively sure that Haifa, Israel is a GMT +2. This is going to be a brief podcast. I'm trying to be more succinct, and my thoughts and communicating my thoughts about my favorite topic, the understanding of national security from a civilian perspective, which would be from a bottom-up perspective, how it's lived and experienced by civilians, and then how those experiences of national security models and responses to national security models, what they inform the state, how they inform the state of the veracity and the soundness of the security model, and also what they do to the collective security for all of us. For instance, in my three focus countries, again, I would remind you, are Canada, Israel, and the United Kingdom. In the United Kingdom, there's a great deal of activism. And as long as the activism is organic, it has come from the community or communities, and it is organic and it hasn't been influenced by the state, it gives you a clear understanding of how some people are experiencing the state-constructed security model. For instance, if you look at 5 Pillars, if that's a Muslim organization out of the UK, and how they understand and experience national security, that organization is literally in engagement with the state in the sense that it is critiquing the model, the state-constructed security model. You have the Henry Jackson Society, which leans to the right. It's right of center. That organization and the activism within that organization is informing the state of its understanding of how the state is providing services when it comes to security. Britain First, the EDL, regardless of what you think about those organizations, if those organizations are an organic response to a community, a group of people's understanding of the state, of the country in which they live in, and the state's positioning of itself in terms of security, those organizations are informing the state of what a population, a pooling of people, a community thinks and experiences, and how they experience national security model. Here in Israel, I'm still learning, which organizations do exactly what. I'm still learning how the state experiences utterances from civil society. And my position is that states can learn constructively. And again, my concern is national security. So I think national security models can actually learn constructively by utterances of organically sprouting activism and what that might say about how their understanding, top-down, national security from the state's perspective is actually being lived and experienced. I think it's very informative to understand what civil society is saying and why they're saying it, particularly if it is organic and it is a truly naturally emerging response from civil society. I think it's fundamentally imperative for the nationally constructed security model, top down from the state, to understand that. So with this YouTube channel, I endeavor through observation, through some of my historical work in the UK, some of my very limited but more recent work in Canada, and some of my work now that I'm doing, and trying to acclimate myself and understand thoroughly how the state believes it is performing here in Israel. Israel, and from that perspective, is easy. Israel is very blunt and out about this is national security. But then I'm trying to learn and understand what are the responses from civil society. How does civil society feel that the state is protecting my particular community? This is actually something I find intellectually exhilarating. I find the journey to feel safe and to be safe is innate for all of us. And then how that, I think, innate need and desire makes its way to the state, and then is constructed by the state, and then is fed back down to civil society. How that innate desire and need is manufactured from a state perspective, and then how it's experienced by us, civil society, is, for me, fascinating. So, in keeping with my initial utterances, I'm going to keep this a very short podcast. And I hope you will continue to listen. I hope you will think yourself, if whether you're from the state, and to at least be open enough to ask why a particular form of activism is occurring in your neck of the woods, wherever that might be. And I hope if you're in civil society and you're looking at security from a citizen's perspective, if you understand that your activism, no matter what it may be and what form it may take, and I'm hoping that's always legal and nonviolent, but your activism is your engagement with the state. Because in your activism, whether it is in support of the state-constructed national security model, or in opposition, or in corrective mode, you are in communication and in relationship with the state. If your activism is, by its mere existence, informing the state of how you are currently engaging and whether or not you're in agreement with that engagement. This is Debra V. Wilson, and I'm in Haifa, Israel. It is GMT +2. Thank you very much.